Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and as we continue to focus on videos from the Order of the Phoenix, the next talking point is going to be a what if talking point. So the previous video that I've uploaded focused on why the Ministry, well Cornelius Fudge, didn't believe Harry Potter's claims of Voldemort's return, and I feel like I made some good points. Today's video, however, is going to be about what would happen if the Ministry did in fact believe Harry, how that situation would change, and who would be affected if this scenario were to actually happen. Let's continue the video and find out. Welcome back guys. So Cornelius Fudge pretty much made Harry's life a misery for the duration of his 5th year at Hogwarts, and Dumbledore got the blunt end of it too. You can check my video out on why the Minister of Magic behaved in such a way from the link in the description below. So that's something we've already talked about. Today however is going to be my favourite type of video, the what if video. The video that covers every single thing that would change if Cornelius Fudge believed Harry's word on Voldemort's return. So let's go back to the point right after Cedric Diggory's death in the Triwizard Tournament. Dumbledore addresses the school as he did in the original timeline, informing them of Cedric's death at the hands of Voldemort. The Minister for Magic arrives the next day with his officials, scolding Dumbledore for informing the students so abruptly and so publicly. Fudge is still Fudge after all. He was still uneasy, unsure, and hated any sort of unsettling controversy. Nevertheless, he believed Harry's word, and appropriate action needed to be taken in order to prepare. For starters, Cedric Diggory would have got the funeral and send-off that he deserved. His death wouldn't have been covered up as a tragic accident. His character and memory wouldn't have been insulted as it was in the original timeline. Harry Potter would have been heavily debriefed on what happened in the Little Hangleton graveyard, having to relive the moment again and again and again. It would put Harry under severe stress. His memory of the situation would have also been collected by Dumbledore to view accurately in the Pensieve. Actually, come to think of it, couldn't Harry's memory have been viewed in the Pensieve in the original timeline? Kinda seems plot based that it wasn't mentioned or even suggested by anyone. Anyway, there would have been a wide alert about Voldemort's return issued from the Minister himself, along with the assistance from the Daily Prophet. Knowing the man Fudge is, although the focal point will be the Dark Lord, he'd overshadow the topic of discussion with the reassurance that the Ministry are in full control of the situation and are extremely confident of swiftly bringing the Dark Lord to justice. In reality, Fudge was in no way even remotely close to any of that. Hogwarts would have tightened security, which means more Dementors, so 3rd year all over again. Harry would have also told the Minister and the debriefing officials that Peter Pettigrew was alive the whole time and framed Sirius Black. This wouldn't have gone down so well, as Fudge was adamant that Black was a convicted killer. He wouldn't be too interested in hearing Harry properly explain, as the news of Voldemort was uncomfortable enough. But now to hear that Sirius wasn't guilty was something that he struggled to comprehend. The Marauder's map would have been an aid as Harry explained his point, and the assistance of Dumbledore, followed by the eyewitness of Ron, Hermione, Remus Lupin and Severus Snape, all accounting for seeing Pettigrew. Fudge would then reluctantly exonerate Black for the murder of 12 Muggles and the betrayal of the Potters that led to their murder. This means Sirius would now be free to be in Harry's life more, instead of being on the run. I've also done a video on what would happen if Sirius survived that you can check out in the description box below. With the Ministry also backing Dumbledore, That would mean they wouldn't have to interfere with Hogwarts ongoings, which means no Dolores Umbridge. That awful tyrant who's actually hated more than Voldemort by the majority of Harry Potter fans would have never have been appointed to the position of Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher. She would have not rose to the position of High Inquisitor and then Headmistress, which means that damn blood quill wouldn't have come with her either. I think Severus Snape would have been given the Dark Arts job, which means that Slughorn would have been back a year earlier, and most likely easier to find as the Death Eaters wouldn't have been looking for him at this point. It also means that Harry would have gotten the liquid luck during his 5th year instead of his 6th, but Aragog wouldn't have died at that point, so it makes me wonder what path the liquid luck fueled Harry Potter would have taken in order to get what he wanted from Slughorn. Without Umbridge and the Ministry basically shutting down any practical defence work, Harry and the students wouldn't need to form Dumbledore's army, which means the Room of Requirement wouldn't have been introduced to Harry either, which means when it came to locating the diadem of Ravenclaw in the Deathly Hallows, he'd basically have no idea where to look. Sybil Trelawney also wouldn't have been fired, meaning she'd have been spared that awful humiliation she faced in the original timeline. Voldemort had a full year to reassemble his forces when the Ministry didn't believe Harry. I actually don't think he could believe how fortunate he was to go so long undetected. In this alternate scenario, the Ministry would have assembled every Auror in their ranks and worked close with the Order of the Phoenix. The use of the unforgivable curses would have been permitted once again. It would have been an aggressive attack on the Death Eaters, especially as Voldemort was not at his strongest. He had just been reborn and still regaining his power. The Battle of the Department of Mysteries also wouldn't have happened, as with Dumbledore still around and not on the run, Harry's false visions would have been confirmed as such when he went to Dumbledore for help, just as he did in the Half-Blood Prince. And as I said earlier, this is now the second confirmation Sirius Black wouldn't have been killed by Bellatrix either. He'd have survived. For now, anyway. Although I think he'd never refrain from putting himself in harm's way if it meant protecting Harry. So I think he definitely would have participated in the Battle of Hogwarts. Would he come to harm then? I'm not sure. To sum it up guys, Harry would have gained the year he lost and the Dark Lord would not have had the time to rearrange and rebuild his forces. I still can't see much changing going forward in terms of Voldemort's impact. He was still immortal, he still had Horcruxes and Harry would have hunted them as he did. With that being said guys, that is my take on what would have happened if Fudge and the Ministry had believed Harry about his claims of Voldemort's return. As usual, if you have anything to add, then please do so in the comment section below. Did I leave anything out? I want you to tell me. Thank you again for watching, have a great day, and I will see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, I truly appreciate your support. Everyone, notifications of uploads are more important than ever, so please if you haven't already, turn those notifications on to make sure you're notified the moment my video goes live. Making videos is what I love to do, it's my dream and my passion, however it does cost time and money to produce this content, so if you have $1 to spare to support me on Patreon in exchange for some exclusive unseen content, then you can click the Patreon link below or at the end of this video. Please only support me if you can afford it. And make sure to follow me on Instagram at InstaDNJ and on Twitter at PotterFolklore. Check out my other videos appearing on screen and please make sure, most importantly, to hit that subscribe button. Thanks again everyone and please have a great day.